The following segment is sponsored by Wasatch Backcountry Alliance. Have you been up Little Cottonwood Canyon recently? It can be a bit crowded, especially during the winter time. Brad and Emily are here to tell us about a different solution. Welcome to the show. Great to see you both.
Thanks.
You.
Good to be here.
Of course, we're glad to have you. Okay, so what is the first solution you want to see to improve traffic in Little Cottonwood Canyon? First solution.
Well, what we've analyzed this quite a bit. My organization, Wasatch Backcountry Alliance, we put together a podcast series where we did live Facebook interviews. We have about 10, 11 hours worth of content where we talk to all the main stakeholders, from proponents of the gondola to the train to busing, and we've evaluated all these things. We've come to the conclusion that what we'd like to see is, let's first utilize the existing infrastructure we have in place today. So let's look at adequately funding busing. Let's make sure there's enough parking for those who want to ride it. Let's look at things like tolling and parking, reservation systems to help curb behavior and help educate people around the right times to go up the canyon. We feel like there's great infrastructure and systems in place today that if we adequately fund them and support them, that this can alleviate a lot of the problems.
Sure, we can make it work. Now, how would tolling help? How would that work?
Tolling would be one of the incentives to get people onto transit, and we know that the buses work because they're really crowded, and even UDOT acknowledges that there isn't enough parking to meet the demand for people on the buses. So if we can toll in conjunction with providing more parking for buses, we would see a decrease in the number of cars on the road.
Sure. Okay, and what about parking reservations? Do you think that would help?
So, this last season, the 2021-22 season, Alta Ski Area implemented a parking reservation system. And while it's not a perfect system, we did see it change the behavior of people going up Little Cottonwood Canyon, and it alleviated and helped with a lot of the traffic issues, and it made the experience much better so that people going up the canyon knew that they had a place to park, and they could sort of change the way that the times that they drove up the canyon as well. And so there's a lot of positive lessons to be learned from something like a parking reservation system.
Sure, sure. Now, what about incentives? Let's talk about that a little bit.
So, Emily was just talking about incentives, and sometimes they're called disincentives, but what we want to look at is we want to provide a lot of options for people to get up the canyon, whether you're going up to snowshoe or ski, hike on a trail, or go to the ski resorts. We want to provide people a lot of options. There's a lot of people that just go up the canyons to go picnicking and that sort of thing. And so tolling is one of those things where we have to make sure this is equitable across the different people that want to utilize Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful. We all want to be able to use it, right? And why do you think the proposed gondola is not a good idea?
Well, through the analysis that I talked about earlier, there's really no proof or evidence that people will ride the gondola, and it's kind of a gamble. A lot of people are worried about this gamble. We have no proof or evidence. It's going to have a huge visual impact. So these are skyscraper-sized towers that are going to go all the way up the canyon, all the way up Little Cottonwood. You'll be able to see it from almost any point in the Wasatch Valley. You'll be able to look over and see this gondola tower. And then from almost every trailhead or every trail in Little Cottonwood Canyon, you'll be able to see this. So this impact is really significant. We haven't seen that people will ride this. It's going to be more expensive than the other alternatives. Generally, it's going to take more time to get to your destination than all the other alternatives. That would include taking the bus or driving. And so when we start looking at why are people going to ride this? Well, really, people are trying to get to their destination, right?
That's
and so we want to provide something that's going to allow them to, as inexpensively and as quickly, get to their destination. The gondola is just not it.
Well, thank you so much for being here, both of you. And where can we go for more information quickly?
So both of our organizations have great information. WasatchBackcountryAlliance.org actually has a way that people can submit comments to UDOT and also comment to their legislatures.
Amazing. Thank you, Emily, Brad. Great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.